From the frozen ponds to the bright lights of the NHL, this is Myah Off The Bench. We're breaking down the biggest headlines, scouting the next wave of hockey stars, and diving into the journey from the junior leagues to the shows. Whether it's blockbuster trades, rising NCAA talent, or USHL stand-up, we've got it covered. I'm Maya French, your host, and if you love hockey as much as I do, you're in the right place. So let's drop the puck. Alright, buckle up. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got NHL teams hitting the panic button, college hockey going full chaos mode, and the USHL turning into a playoff street fight. If you're new to hockey, this is going to seem really chaotic. But if you've been here before, you know this is when hockey is at its finest. So let's talk about the NHL first. We recently had the trade deadline, and let's talk about the biggest news from the trade deadline. First, the Colorado Avalanche are out here playing NHL franchise mode on easy. They picked up Mikko Rantanen, Charlie Coyle, and Brock Nelson, which, if you don't know anything about them, that's a truly terrifying upgrade for a team that already scores like it's beer league night, meaning they score like crazy. Meanwhile, the Bruins, oh yeah, they made moves, just not ones that Boston fans probably had in mind. They shipped out tons of veterans like Brad Marchand, Brandon Carlo, Charlie Coyle, Trent Frederick, and even Justin Brazeau. That's not trade deadline strategy, that's a clearance sale. Pretty sure someone in the front office hit rebuild instead of contend by accident, but hey, maybe it'll work out for them in the end. And Marchand, yep, Mr. Lick Your Face, is now a Florida Panther. If you missed that era, yeah, he literally licked opponents on the ice a few seasons back. Gross. That locker room is about to be dangerous, and not just for the other team. I'm talking internal drama levels off the charts. I can't wait to see how that dynamic with Tkachuk plays out. Alright, now let's take a look at the playoff race. In the Eastern Conference, the Washington Capitals are officially in. Why? Because Alex Ovechkin refuses to age. That's why. He's just crazy with goal scoring. Behind them, Carolina, Florida, and Toronto, they're jostling for a position. Tampa Bay is holding on, but New Jersey, Ottawa, and even Montreal are keeping things spicy. And then there's Boston, sitting in 13th place after selling their farm. Boston fans, I really hope you kept your receipts. And at the bottom, we got the Flyers, Penguins, and Sabres. They're technically still in it, but at this point, it's like watching a bad reality show. You know it's not ending well, but you just can't look away for some reason. In the Western Conference, Winnipeg is leading the pack, and it's all thanks to Connor Hellebuck standing on his head every single night. He's got 40 wins, an insane save percentage. He's playing like his contract depends on it. Well, probably because it kind of does. But anyway, Dallas, Vegas, and Colorado round out the top spots, with the Kings and the Oilers lurking slightly behind. Minnesota and St. Louis are hanging in there. Barely. Minnesota currently has the first wildcard spot, but St. Louis is on a hot streak. Suddenly, they're looking like the 2019 team again. And then there's Chicago, San Jose. I mean, technically they're still playing hockey. Let's just leave it at that. Alright, on the scoring race. Nathan MacKinnon is on top with 105 points, because of course he is. Leon Draisaitl is second with 101, but he's out with an injury. He also leads the league in goals with 49. So if you were hoping for a 60-goal season, that's probably not happening. And Kucherov is sitting at 98. And McDavid has 90, but he's also injured too. So half the top scorers are racking up points, and the other half are trying not to end up on the IR. Alright, now let's talk some college puck. Because chaos is just as good in the college world as well. The Frozen Faceoff wrapped up with Western Michigan knocking off North Dakota, and UND followed it up by firing their head coach. Imagine losing a tournament game and immediately getting told, yeah, we're good here, pack your stuff. Brutal. But after several years of falling short, I guess the pressure finally caught up. Also, that was the last Frozen Face-Off at XL Energy Center. The end of an era. Alright, let's talk about the NCAA tournament, because it's loaded. In Manchester, New Hampshire, we got Boston College versus Bentley. BC's the heavy favorite, but hey, it's March. Chaos lives here. Providence versus Denver is the next matchup. Two teams that love to grind. And in the Allentown region, we got Maine versus Penn State. PSU's got the crowd, but Maine's got the firepower. Then we got UConn versus Quinnipiac. UConn is hungry. Quinnipiac's got the experience. Then in the Fargo region, we got Western Michigan versus Minnesota State. Western is rolling, but hey, don't ever count out Mankato. Then we got Minnesota versus UMass. The Gophers are a threat, as always, but UMass has been here before, and quite a few times. Then last but not least, we got the Toledo region, and in that matchup, we have Michigan State versus Cornell, the Big Ten versus the ECAC, clash of styles. Then we got Boston University versus Ohio State, just pure heavyweight action. Alright, now let's talk about the Hobey Baker, which is basically the Heisman Trophy of hockey. Here are the top three. First, we got Ryan Leonard from Boston College. He's got 47 points in 35 games, a monster up front. Then we got Aiden Fink from Penn State. He leads all the players in points per game with 52 points in 37 games. And he's a 7th round pick from Nashville, which is a total steal. Then we got Zeev Boynum from Denver. He's a wild first rounder going to Minnesota. He's got 42 points in 36 games as a defenseman. Oh, and he crushed it at the World Juniors. Fink might have this edge, but this race is tight. Alright, now time for a trip around the USHL, which is the top junior league in the US, a direct pipeline to the NCAA and the NHL Draft. Now, the Clark Cup is gearing up in the USHL, which is basically like the Stanley Cup of the USHL. In the Eastern Conference, Dubuque currently leads with 77 points, but Muskegon, Madison, and Youngstown are all breathing down their necks. It's a 4-team brawl for positioning, and no one's backing down. In the other conference, the Western Conference, the Lincoln Stars are that team. They got 40 wins, 82 points. They are lighting it up. Sioux Falls is hanging in there with 79 points, so not far behind them. And Waterloo is quietly dangerous. But Lincoln already looks like they've booked their Airbnb for the finals. And then there's Omaha. We got love for the Lancers, but it's been rough. They've had 4 different coaches this season. That's not a team. That's a group project that keeps changing leaders. Their record? 7, 48, 4, and 1. That's 7 wins, 48 regulation losses, 4 OT losses, and 1 shootout loss. In simple words, they've won 7 out of 60 games this season. They've been playing since October. They've officially been eliminated if we haven't got that already. If you're an Omaha fan, we see you. You've earned the right to pick a playoff team. Go ahead. We won't judge. Alright. The USHL is stacked with future pros. Over 50 active players made Central Scouting's midterm rankings, plus 15 alumni already making waves in college. James Higgins is ranked 2nd among North American skaters. He's currently at BC, but played for the National Development Team. And active National Development Team includes Jack Murtagh and Will Moore, who are in the top 32. Madison Capital's Riker Lee ranks 40th. Mason Moe isn't far behind at 54. Ben Kevin from Des Moines is 44th, and Jacob Brombach from Lincoln is just outside the top 50. And we also got to talk about goalies. Bjorn Bronis from Sioux City and Jack Parsons from Chicago are leading the way. Also, P.S. I just want to give a shout out to the USHL coaches out there. They're managing future NHL stars with teenage egos and attitudes on a bus in the middle of Iowa for hours on end every single weekend, since they don't fly anywhere in that league. Or hardly ever. Crazy. I don't know how they do it. Alright, the bottom line is the Clark Cup race is turning into a straight brawl. The NHL scouts are basically squatting in USHL ranks, and if your team is in the hunt, enjoy the ride. And if you're an Omaha fan, maybe just take a breather. You've earned it.
That's a wrap on this episode of Myah Off The Bench. If you enjoyed the show, follow me on Instagram at Myah Off The Bench for extra content, behind the scenes, and some updates on the next episode. Until then, keep your skates sharp, your passes crisp, and I'll see you back on the bench next